If you're past 60, there's a strong likelihood that nobody has ever shared this with you. Certain cheeses might actually be safeguarding your brain, bones, and gut, whereas others could be subtly damaging them. The reality is, cheese isn't all made the same, particularly as the years advance. Based on latest research appearing in the European Journal of Nutrition, selecting the appropriate kind of cheese can lessen inflammation, enhance vascular well-being, and help bolster cognitive performance. Yet the incorrect varieties, they could gradually be fostering high blood pressure, artery stiffening, and waning immunity, all while you're completely unaware of it. For that reason, in this video today, we're revealing 3 cheeses that every senior ought to include, not merely for enjoyment, but for robustness, sharpness, and vigor. These represent time-proven, naturally crafted cheeses that prove gentler on your gut, reduced in sodium, and packed with vital nutrients that your maturing body requires more urgently than before. So, prior to your upcoming bite, you'll certainly want to understand which cheeses are working silently in your favor and which might be undermining you. Let's jump right in. Prior to diving deeper, if you haven't subscribed already, I suggest you tap that button and activate the bell to ensure you catch every health insight tailored especially for you. Should you like this video, drop a 1 in the comments. If it misses the mark, enter 0 so I can refine my content to suit you better. 3 types of cheese that folks over 60 ought to steer clear of entirely. Senior health tips. Processed cheese spreads. 1. The spreads made from processed cheese. The most hazardous among them all. It's supple. It's velvety. It glides smoothly over toast, crackers, and even fond recollections from youth. For plenty of people, those processed cheese spreads, the ones in tubs, jars, or tidy triangular packages, serve as a sentimental solace. However, for us who are beyond 60, what appears as a harmless treat is in truth a nutritional hazard, steadily eroding our well-being with each mouthful. These processed cheese spreads aren't genuine cheese in any real way. They stem from factory concoctions blending subpar cheese scraps with synthetic emulsifiers, fake colorings, preservatives, and alarmingly elevated amounts of sodium and saturated fats. Even more troubling, they're frequently promoted as handy, even approachable, simple to apply, endorsed by kids. But the actual story is much darker. As the years pile on, our systems shed the toughness they once possessed. Kidneys filter less effectively, arteries forfeit their flexibility, and metabolism eases up. That's precisely why the additives within these cheese spreads turn especially poisonous for mature adults. Sodium phosphate, a frequent preservative, goes beyond merely maintaining consistency. It steadily burdens your kidneys with every consumption. In the long run, this extra load can hasten kidney impairment, a danger that's thoroughly outlined in reports from the National Kidney Foundation. And consider the fats next. Not only the standard saturated sort, but at times partially hydrogenated oils too, trans fats, which many nations have outlawed for solid causes. These trans fats boost your harmful LDL cholesterol, diminish your beneficial HDL cholesterol, and brew an ideal condition for cardiovascular issues, strokes, and widespread inflammation. The outcome is quicker decline in mental acuity, joint vitality, and blood flow, all concealed behind the soothing facade of a pliable, spreadable cheese. The cost you incur starts unseen. It arrives not as intense ache or vivid signs. Rather, it emerges stealthily. Climbing blood pressure, unaccounted weariness, delayed memory retrieval, and test outcomes that start suggesting issues, like raised creatinine, elevated triglycerides, or shortages in calcium. These mark the fees exacted by an item that seemed benign, yet proved otherwise. When you consume processed cheese spreads, you forfeit more than mere nutrition. You yield your enduring vitality, bit by bit, in those hushed instances. So indeed, the ease appeals strongly. The taste could even evoke days of youth. Yet your form has matured now, grown savvier, and it merits superior treatment. It merits sustenance that bolsters your heart, feeds your mind, and fortifies your skeleton. Not an element that incrementally subverts them per portion. But the true peril lies in how processed cheese spreads merge every foul aspect of contemporary food design into a single item. Salt, synthetics, grease, and utter lack of responsibility. It's beyond mere cheese. It's a stealthy infiltrator crafted for longevity on shelves, not in your lifespan. And should that strike you as disturbing, hold on until you learn of the subsequent cheese on our roster. It appears upscale, scents lavish, and still harbors concealed perils that can hit abruptly. If you're continuing to watch and deem these revelations useful, kindly post the number 1 in the comments to signal you're alongside me. Now, onward to item 2. 2. Blue cheese. Elegant flavor, concealed peril. Blue cheese. Blue cheese. Merely the mention could conjure visions of sophisticated cheese platters, premium vintages, or a premium chunk scattered atop greens. It's commonly viewed as polished, a luxury for palates with refinement. But for individuals past 60, blue cheese conceals a muted hazard unrelated to flavor and entirely tied to your system's responses amid maturation. The mold imparting those distinctive blue streaks isn't merely decorative. It's penicillium, an active mold generating substances such as tyramine and histamine. Though the young might handle these effortlessly, the elder body frequently falters. With advancing age, the enzymes tasked with dismantling these elements decelerate sharply. Thus, tyramine and histamine persist within you, sparking abrupt surges in blood pressure, cardiac flutters, and frequently intense headaches or vertigo. Certain elders even land in emergency care oblivious that a modest cheese portion served as the subtle trigger. Yet the threats extend beyond. Since blue cheese undergoes aging and commonly uses raw or unpasteurized dairy, it heightens vulnerability to listeria contamination, a bacterial scourge capable of wreaking havoc, even proving deadly for seniors with compromised defenses. Listeria arrives without blaring alerts. It commences mildly, slight fever, exhaustion, maybe queasiness. But among at-risk elders, it can swiftly worsen to sepsis, meningitis, or graver fates. And regarding sodium, blue cheese packs a salty punch, typically over 400 milligrams per ounce, vastly surpassing limits for a cardiac-aware regimen. Combine that with the elevated saturated fats in richer types, and you craft a formula for stiffened vessels and heightened stroke odds. Paradoxically, from an item paraded as upscale, the toll for that deep, zesty savor is hefty. Erratic blood pressure, inflammatory excess, lurking infections, and prospective neural fallout. It might appear a minor splurge, but for maturing forms, it bears major, enduring repercussions. So prior to dusting that blue fragment on your forthcoming salad, hesitate and recall that not all things matured with attention benefit the mature. At times, elegance exacts a high toll. And if you figured mold posed the foe, anticipate the sleek, velvety cheese that's stealthily derailing your metabolism each dawn. 3. Cream cheese, the yielding adversary you overlooked. Cream cheese. Cream cheese lacks an intimidating vibe. It rests in your refrigerator, chilled and modest, primed for smearing on your breakfast bagel or mixing into a heated recipe. It's sleek, reassuring, and well-known, integral to a habit spanning years. And perhaps that's its sly peril, for unlike other cheeses boasting sharp aromas or striking looks, cream cheese masks its detriment under pliancy and plainness. For those beyond 60, this sort of item, scant in value, laden with lipids, and slyly lavish, can steadily erode your wellness incrementally. Cream cheese holds scant to no substantial protein. Still, it's brimming with saturated fat, which raises grave worries when metabolic pace lags and the frame grapples with surplus calories. This disproportion feeds straight into deep fat buildup, especially midsection, a clear harbinger of insulin defiance, cardiac woes, and inflammatory states that grow commonplace with years. But lipids aren't the sole concern. Cream cheese frequently bears extra sugars, notably in variants like honey, berry, or nut-infused. These sweeteners might look innocuous in tiny quantities, yet for elders, they jolt insulin, unsettle glucose equilibrium, and stoke body-wide inflammation, yielding greater lassitude, mental haze, and hurdles in weight control. During this life phase, each morsel counts more intensely than before. Opting for dense in calories yet barren of nutrients fare exacts a levy on your system in foregone chances for mending, bolstering, or vigor. And then, listeria, the hushed bacterial menace. Owing to its tender consistency and dampness, cream cheese, particularly if exposed briefly, can foster harmful microbes. Elders, notably those with frail immunity, face acute susceptibility to listeria outbreaks. This exceeds a mere tummy upset. Listeria may provoke meningitis, bloodstream invasions, or fatality among mature adults. The hazard lacks a clamorous signal. It arrives in faint pulses, persistent ache in the head, slight disorientation, a vague unease. Frequently, linkage occurs too tardily. The levy for that lush consistency and reminiscent ease is profound. It could manifest as climbing cholesterol, advancing glucose, persistent midriff girth, or graver, an unseen contagion altering your existence swiftly. Cream cheese holds no innate malice, yet it scarcely allies with the elder form, and a seeming innocuous routine indulgence might counter your stamina, your vitals, and your endurance. Thus, next time you grasp that glossy spread, query, does the tenderness atop your dish justify the covert erosion below? For while cream cheese murmurs, the ensuing cheese proclaims vividly in hue, assertively in title, and encased in foil. Still, it may rank as the most deceptive provision in your whole cooler. Remain engaged. The forthcoming revelation might recast your upcoming nibble entirely. 3 types of cheese folks over 60 ought to consume. 3 types of cheese people over 60 should eat. 1. Goat cheese, a mild superfood tailored for the maturing frame. Goat cheese. There's a subdued nobility to goat cheese. Distinct from the brash manufactured cheeses clamoring in the supermarket lane, goat cheese remains unpretentious, innate, and profoundly potent. For those past 60, it's beyond a flavorful meal enhancer. It's a remedial partner for a physique in flux, a decelerating metabolism, and a gut no longer as lenient as formerly. Goat cheese ranks among the most straightforward cheeses to process. It harbors reduced lactose and an alternate casein type versus cow dairy cheese, rendering it kinder to the belly, a boon for elders frequently facing swelling, unease, or intolerances absent in prior eras. The advantages delve far past digestion. The lipids in goat cheese chiefly comprise brief and moderate-chain fatty acids, the variety your liver handles adeptly for fuel rather than hoarding as abdominal padding. This proves vital for seniors confronting sluggish metabolic activity and the insidious gain in weight that shadows maturation. Your current intake either aids or taxes your apparatus, and goat cheese stands as one of scant provisions that eases the weight. Furthermore, it serves as an understated champion for defenses and cerebral wellness. Laden with zinc, selenium, and probiotics, goat cheese aids in renewing the gut flora, a prime bulwark versus inflammation, pathogens, and even melancholy among elders. These elements operate discreetly, aiding fabric mending, thyroid operation, and neural precision. It even supplies a distinct vitamin A variant and omega-3s that foster recall and mental prowess, granting understated shielding from age-linked cerebral fade. Goat cheese's allure resides not solely in its offerings, but in its omissions. Absent synthetic hues, no fixatives, no conservers. Just pristine, innate sustenance that settles as agreeably within as it delights upon the palate. Be it scattered on grilled produce, smeared on multigrain bread, or incorporated into a airy frittata, it imparts depth sans burden. As years accumulate, we grasp ever more that cuisine transcends savor. It's about the ensuing sensation. Goat cheese evokes wellness enveloped in ease. Yet if goat cheese strikes you as noteworthy, await the sacred cheese that tacitly shields your ticker, skeleton, and defenses per morsel. 2. Swiss cheese, a discreet barrier for the elder heart and psyche. Swiss cheese. There's a muted fortitude in Swiss cheese. Unlike assertive cheeses dominating your dish, Swiss lingers serenely aside, subdued in flavor, tender on the frame, and strikingly effective in manners most ignore. For those in their 60s onward, it extends beyond gustatory worth. It extends safeguarding. Swiss cheese, bearing its famed perforations and nutty nuance, counts as one of few cheeses seeming crafted for elder physiques. Among its most neglected boons is its notably scant sodium, roughly 54 milligrams per ounce. During a period when hypertension looms large and remedies often compound the pressure, this holds profound import. With Swiss, you gain cheese's solace minus the penalty of soaring salt counts. Even more striking is its effect on skeletal and cardiac vitality. Swiss cheese brims with vitamin K2, a substance many elders lack sufficiently, though it crucially directs calcium to proper sites, in bones, not vessels. This averts vessel hardening, a hushed yet perilous factor in cardiac ailments and apoplexies. In essence, Swiss cheese exceeds mere sustenance. It channels the exact minerals that might injure or mend based on their placement. And it persists further. Bearing ample calcium, protein, and B12, Swiss aids muscular upkeep, neural activity, and mental lucidity, assets growing dearer with time. Its innate maturation slashes lactose near to nil, easing assimilation for seniors newly prone to sensitivities. The microbial strains in classic Swiss cheese, particularly Propionibacterium freudenreichi, yield singular anti-inflammatory agents amid fermentation. These fortify immunity and curb inflammation, providing understated yet significant warding against ailments like joint wear and neural decay. It's a cheese that murmurs yet toils diligently, akin to a steadfast sentinel offstage. And contrasting manufactured cheeses, no synthetic components or tricks reside here. Merely unadulterated, matured sustenance, upholding the mechanisms that duration softens. But if Swiss cheese embodies the sage protector, the next arrives as the lively ally. Vivid, friable, and surprisingly robust in aiding your skeleton, gut, and cerebrum in a single savory nibble. 3. Feta cheese. Scattered plainness bearing enduring might. Feta cheese. Feta cheese might not seize the spotlight amid a bustling supper spread, yet for those beyond 60, this modest, friable cheese wields exceptional merit. Its sharp tang, yielding feel, and storied origins hint at profundity, a provision sustaining eras, sans heirs, or surplus. For elders charting maturation's intricacies, feta blends rarity, zest, utility, and mildness. Customarily from ewe's milk or a ewe-goat blend, feta inherently holds less lactose and a more amenable protein form than bovine cheeses, for the elder gut, which time renders less indulgent. This yields a subdued yet pea variance. Rather than inciting swelling or gut turmoil, feta glides through the frame gracefully, a poise we prize increasingly with years. Yet feta's true boon emerges in its compact, potent allotments. Brimming with calcium, protein, and B12, it upholds skeletal resilience, neural operation, and muscular retention, domains where the frame cedes territory in life's later spans. These elements transcend utility. They're indispensable, particularly for elders striving for agility, poise, and mental keenness. Most striking, perhaps, is feta's role in gut welfare. As a salted, fermented cheese, it teems naturally with probiotics, salutary microbes restoring and sustaining microbial variety. With age, notably amid drug use, the gut forfeits equilibrium. That discord cascades, influencing digestion, defenses, temperament, and inflammation alike. A sparing feta dusting can uphold that poise, functioning as a modest routine renewal. And despite its briny zest, the needed serving stays slight. Mere pinches uplift a plate and convey merit's sans sodium overload. For salt-weary souls, a swift rinse slashes sodium markedly. Feta demonstrates that sustenance needn't dazzle. It merely requires purpose, historical grounding, and bodily kindness. Be it tossed in a heated salad, charred veggies, or dawn frittata, it conveys both zest and purpose to the board. And though these three cheeses aid in guarding your wellness amid years, grasping which to shun holds equal weight. For not every cheese charts a route to might. Some indeed tacitly pilfer it. More than mere savor, selecting cheese as a route to endurance and poise. Maturation transcends mere accrual of years, its honing selections, decelerating with insight, and dwelling more deliberately than prior. And that encompasses plate contents. Cheese for multitudes has symbolized solace eternally. A toasty melt sandwich, a cracker topping, a pasta dusting. Petite delights we've come to treasure. Yet solace, particularly in elder phases, must pair with caution. At life's this juncture, your frame seeks altered provisions. Your heart seeks reduced salt. Your joints seek diminished inflammation. Your mind seeks lucidity. Your bones seek fortitude. And crucially, your span seeks expenditure in vitality, not remediation. What once appeared innocuous in 30s or 40s, a dense manufactured spread, a fungal upscale treat, a lush pleasure veiling lipids, now bears repercussions outweighing transient zest. Upon attaining 60s, 70s, or further, each repast transcends nourishment. It turns remedy or toxin. The distinction lurks subtly, oft veiled by glossy wraps, reminiscent zests, and a society yet prizing expedience over soundness. Yet you wield the agency to select otherwise. You can esteem your frame not via joy's curtailment, but its elevation, via provisions simple, pure, sustaining, and vibrant. Shunning errant cheeses stems not from dread, it arises from esteem, from acknowledging food's hushed modes of elevation or attrition, especially amid bodily frailty. It's opting to stake in welfare, in sustaining acuity, motion, and bonds as long as feasible. And that's not solely for you. It's for your loved ones, reliant upon you, still seeking your sagacity, mirth, and counsel. It's never tardy to pivot, to swap detrimental patterns for curative, to supplant dense spreads with a pristine goat's liver, to barter salt-laden fungal morsels for a crisp mozzarella slice. These mark minor deeds, yet potent ones too, for in this life tier, each choice weighs a touch heavier. Let your repasts mirror the tending you recognize you merit. Let cuisine evolve beyond savor's origin, into fount of might, recall, lucidity, and poise. And as we've merely skimmed depths, recall it's not solely avoidance, but adoption. For the path to fine aging isn't diminution, it's superior selection. Now, prepare to unearth cheeses truly shielding your heart, feeding your mind, and fortifying your frame. Let's proceed. These insights aim to kindle your full, genuine living. Now, I'd relish your voice. Pause to ponder and relay one insight gleaned and intended for your life. Let's bolster one another on this trek toward these verities' embrace. Should this video please you, kindly comment a 1. If otherwise, comment 0 freely. Your input holds great worth to us. Recall to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube for a kin fare. Thanks for viewing, and cheers to life's navigation by your rules.